Welcome again to what's still known as BAM Reviews. Jared here again, and today I'm going to be reviewing my new Logitech G11 Gaming Keyboard. I picked this guy up on Newegg for $58.99, and after 2-day shipping, it came out to $68 even, go figure. The main features of the keyboard include full media keys, including play, pause, stop, previous, next, volume wheel, mute. The keyboard has a backlighting, blue, as well as a couple amber colored lights. The lighting is adjustable. You can turn it off, obviously, turn it on, and make it a little bit brighter. The difference between the two settings isn't that much difference, so you'll probably just use one over the other. The G11 also has a gaming mode, which is just a little switch on the keyboard that turns off the Windows key. So if you're in like a first-person shooter and you're trying to kill someone and you accidentally hit the Windows key, it usually goes to the start menu. This will disable that button. Just remember to turn back on if you use the Windows shortcuts on your desktop. It also has 18 G buttons over on the left-hand side here with 3 different banks. So 54 combinations or possibilities, and these are all completely programmable, and they work great. To give an example here, we'll just go into the G11 program, and as you can see, it's set to the default configuration, which is just if you're in a program or if you're on the desktop, or rather, if you're on the desktop, it'll go to the default configuration, and if you're in a program that you don't have a profile set up for. So if you see here, I have Photoshop, Guild Wars, which actually, when the program installed, it automatically found Guild Wars, which is a game on my system, and then I made the Photoshop one. For the default configuration, you can see here I have some shortcuts. For G1 I have Web, G2 I have Media Player. This opens up, the Web opens up Firefox, Media Player opens up Windows Media Player. I've got Foobar down here, which is another music player I use, Miro, email, etc., etc. I programmed these all. These were all very easy to program. For example, Photoshop here, you just assign a shortcut, and you can type in the path or you can find it, and it'll go to the executable file and open that up for you. Works great. I'll give you an example here. We'll hit G7 for Photoshop, and it pops right up. So while we're in Photoshop, I'll show you how to program a button, or a shortcut rather. When we go into Photoshop, it's automatically going to go into the Photoshop profile. So for reference, I'll open that up over here. I have a macro here which should automatically open up the filter gallery, and then I also have one that saves as a JPEG and then puts me right where I need to be to name the file. So we'll open up a new file here. And then I'm actually going to create a new macro. So I'm going to hit the MR button here, which is macro record. Hit that, and then you hit a G key, and we'll hit G3. And then when it's blinking, it means it's recording. So I'm going to hit Alt to go into the file and edit options up here. We're going to go over to Filter, and then down to Filter Gallery, and hit Enter. And then I'm going to hit the macro record button again, and then I'll stop it, and then it automatically saves it. So I'll cancel out of this here, and we'll go ahead and hit G3, and look at that, it brings us right to the filter panel. So it's really easy to use, and it's handy if there's functions in a program that you use a lot, and it doesn't already have a shortcut for example, there's no keyboard shortcut for filter gallery. I know most of them in Photoshop, and I utilize them all the time. Another one that I programmed earlier was the save as JPEG, which is G2, and as you can see, I just programmed it so that it automatically selects JPEG from the options here, and then highlights the name so I can name it something fun. I've had the keyboard for about a week now, and I use it because I'm on the computer all the time. I use it for some games. It works great. The precision is wonderful. The gaming mode works great. the games that I've been playing lately have just been first-person shooters, so there's not many macros that I could be configuring. But I'm sure if I play an RTS or a strategy game like that, I'll be able to utilize that for like Age of Empires or things like that. It'll probably come in handy. Size could be an issue with the G11 keyboard. It's bigger than most standard keyboards. I went from the original Cytec Eclipse, I think it was, it had the same blue backlighting basically, which is a little bit smaller, more compact design, but doesn't have a lot of the features that this one has. So a small compromise there. I don't have a lot of desk space, but I don't really utilize the space that the keyboard's taking up anyway, so I could afford that there. One thing I forgot to mention is that the G11 also offers 2 USB ports on the rear of the device, basically facing the monitor. Very handy. They didn't have enough power to run my webcam, but I'm currently using my headset with it, and it works wonderfully. So that wraps up my review for the Logitech G11 Gaming Keyboard. We don't have a rating system yet, but out of 10, I definitely give this keyboard a 10. My only gripe about it, and it's a very minuscule one at that, is that some of the keys don't light up 100%. The backlighting just doesn't show through, which, like I said, is minuscule. I know my way around the keyboard, so it's not a big deal for me. Before I go, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. I've had a lot of fun creating these reviews, and it's been a great learning experience. I haven't had a lot of feedback yet on the sites, but I hope to change that soon. I'd love for anyone to contribute, whether it be comments, suggestions, or questions. If I can get a few questions, I'll devote a show to answering any questions you guys have, whether it be computers, any kind of tech, or web-related. And of course, you can contact me through the site, or you can email me, jared@burdickandmacy.com. Check back soon for my next review, in which I will be going over the Logitech Z5500 5.1 surround sound system, which I will hopefully be receiving within the week. And once again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to BAM Reviews.